To all of you receiving your bachelor's, master's, doctoral, and professional degrees today, I offer my heartfelt congratulations. I have the deepest respect for your dedication. On behalf of the faculty and staff of the University of Tokyo, I extend my warmest wishes. I would also like to convey our profound gratitude to your families who have encouraged and supported you throughout this remarkable journey. Universities worldwide are being called upon to reconsider their relationship with our rapidly changing society. The University of Tokyo is no exception. As you embark on your diverse path ahead, I hope you will serve as vital bridges between society and academia. From this perspective, I'd like to reflect on the essential role of universities in our increasingly complex era. Recent tensions between the government and some of the leading universities in the United States suggest that academic freedom might have suddenly come under threat. Yet, even without overt political hostility, a divide has long existed between intellectuals and the broader public. In ancient times, knowledge was the province of those who could read. Buddhist monks, Islamic scholars, and Christian clergy held privileged access to learning. The modern university traces its Western origins to the medieval universitas, a guild of teachers and students that emerged in urban centers. From those humble beginnings, universities have evolved into places where scholars generate sophisticated and specialized knowledge. Nevertheless, whether East or West, universities have remained somewhat removed from everyday life. Throughout history, a gulf of incomprehension has persisted between society and those who pursue esoteric scholarship. Today, we face an unprecedented situation. The rise of social media and other new communication technologies is fundamentally transforming the fabric of society itself. While tools that provide instant access to information have become ubiquitous, the divide between universities and society has paradoxically grown deeper and more contentious. Criticism of specialized knowledge has appeared in ways never seen before, sometimes severe enough to threaten the very foundations of public discourse. When new threats shake society, expert knowledge offered as solutions is not always readily embraced. Consider the global COVID-19 pandemic. The World Health Organization identified vaccines as the most effective method for preventing the pandemic's spread, and Japan implemented policies encouraging vaccination. Nevertheless, vaccine hesitancy worldwide hindered effort to prevent infection and reduce death and severe illness. The roots of such hesitancy are complex. They include the difficulty of explaining efficacy and safety, insufficient sharing of accurate information, anxiety about scientifically unverifiable risks, distrust of government, and prejudice and discrimination fueled by misinformation. Professor Kaori Muto of our Institute of Medical Science has argued that one-way communication, where authorities and researchers simply instruct citizens about scientifically correct policies, is not sufficient. What we need, she says, is genuine risk communication. That means creating opportunities for dialogue where citizens can openly express their questions, anxieties, and desires, while experts and government officials respond with integrity and transparency. Risk communication involves engaging in dialogue with all stakeholders, sharing perspectives, finding common goals, and working together towards solutions. Such an approach would help suppress harmful misinformation. Professor Muto also emphasizes that dialogue among experts themselves, where they debate principles and ideals to find solutions, is equally vital. Such dialogue, at its core, represents both the fundamental activity of universities and our essential mission. In UTokyo Compass, the statement of our guiding principles, the University of Tokyo emphasizes dialogue. When I look at today's global situation, I believe we must also strongly advocate for the necessity of dialogue to society at large. The University of Tokyo Charter, established in 2003, declares at its outset the goal of being an institution that serves the global public. The Charter also affirms that freedom and autonomy derived from the fundamental character of scholarship are indispensable to the university's existence. But serious tension may arise between serving the public good and maintaining autonomy. Here, too, dialogue is crucial. And to support that dialogue, we need a shared language. I want you to remember that the University of Tokyo, as a comprehensive university, transcending the boundaries between the humanities and sciences, has been a place where we masterfully employ language in the form of the human voice, written characters, numbers, symbols, to generate new knowledge and discoveries. The university has protected the autonomy of our research by explaining the public value of our work and engaging in continuous dialogue with society. Furthermore, universities have an essential duty to celebrate the joy of free inquiry among peers, debate what we should aspire to become, and forge from these discussions a sense of public purpose. a clear vision of how our work can benefit society. When we engage in dialogue with people from diverse backgrounds, language that creates understanding and empathy is essential. Words play crucial roles in human society as means of expression and communication, as tools for thinking, and as a medium for perception and feeling. Meaningful dialogue requires understanding both the language being spoken and its cultural context. That is why many of us feel constrained when conversing in languages other than our native ones. In recent years, natural language processing has advanced dramatically, making real-time machine translation possible now. While we used to be unable to engage in dialogue in languages we couldn't speak, voice translation apps have lowered those barriers, enabling basic conversation between people who previously could not communicate. Advances in information technology have enabled dialogue not only with voice, but also in new ways, incorporating text, video, and other forms of media. The creative technologies that were mere fantasies for your parents' generation are now tools at our fingertips. Yet precisely in such an age, we must not become overly dependent on those conveniences and neglect thinking in our own words. Above all, I urge you to guard against losing your personal identity. What we need is the intellectual tenacity to untangle complexity, to remain calm, to verify evidence, and to resist being swayed by information overload or deceived by sophisticated disinformation. That is the very essence of the power of dialogue. Take pride in the dialogue skills you have cultivated at the University of Tokyo and deploy them fully in your future endeavors. Since around 2010, with the rise of tech giants like Amazon and Google, the utilization of big data has flourished. The social sciences have seen many innovative quantitative studies, including social network analysis and psychometrics. The expansion of the information space enabled by the internet has indeed brought humanity many conveniences and new experiences. However, while finding statistically significant patterns in massive data sets may be straightforward, we cannot depend on machines to explain why those patterns exist. Moreover, some truths become obscured within seemingly clear numbers. During the pandemic in Japan, the numbers of severe cases and deaths were announced daily. News reports on weather disasters, wars, and famines also lead with casualty figures. We tend to ride an emotional roller coaster with every fluctuation. Yet, even when statistics appear objective, certain realities are hidden when numbers stand on their own. We easily forget that behind the figures lie countless individual lives filled with suffering. So we need to cultivate an awareness that prioritizes the diverse experiences of individuals and always considers their situation. We often assume that information obtained through web searches is objective. But what we see actually varies according to search algorithms. Precisely because the internet has become indispensable, failing to understand this has become dangerous. We need to be vigilant because the information we access is sometimes biased. We risk seeing only what confirms what we want to believe. In a post-truth era, where thinking is easily manipulated and facts are difficult to verify, dialogue often devolves into a contest to defeat opponents rather than understand them. The crucial question is whether we can truly comprehend and empathize with the thoughts and feelings of others. The challenge extends beyond algorithms. Our very languages harbor subtle biases that we often overlook. Generative AI, for instance, has been observed to produce responses that reflect the perspectives and values of English speakers because English dominates cyberspace. Yet, it has been estimated that more than 7,000 languages exist worldwide, and about 40% of them lack written forms. Many of them face extinction as the number of speakers declines. What does not exist in cyberspace as textual information cannot be searched or referenced, and the knowledge and sensibilities embedded in those languages are simply lost. While English serves as a global lingua franca for international activities and academic discourse, most people at UTokyo are not native English speakers. Few feel confident that they can express their deepest emotions and thoughts perfectly in English. In any case, human language itself is not a perfect tool. This is why, as we strive to convey previously inexpressible meanings and emotions, we create new words and expressions. Language has always been and always will be in flux. The very act of putting our thoughts and feelings into words is, in essence, an act of translation. As a university in a non-English speaking region, the University of Tokyo strives patiently to correct the misunderstandings that might arise from such translation through sustained dialogue and to transform those constraints into new forms of creativity. I also hope, this itself will, we hope, serve the global public. So this is a very important point. I hope that even after today's ceremony, so you will continue to regard yourself as members of the UTokyo community, and that you will serve as bridges of translation between our university and the society we all share. Once again, congratulations on what you have all accomplished here.